Hi, Debbie. Thank you very much for coming and speaking with us today. We really appreciate it, especially when you're going to share your journey with us. The first thing that we like to ask is, how did you find Young Vibes, or how did you come across us?
I am actually a member of one of the Not Fine in School groups, and one of the members there posted about it, and I clicked on the link and I joined up to the Facebook group, and then I procrastinated, I have to say, for a number of weeks, as I think a lot of the members in the group do, because you think it's got to be too good to be true.
Yeah.
When you've been through everything you've been through, you just can't believe that what they're telling you can recover my child. Well, really, can you? Nobody else has been able to, so but eventually I took the plunge on the 3rd of August, and it's the best thing I ever did.
Thank you. And we're glad that you took the plunge, because it's difficult for parents, because you have so many avenues to go down for help. And when nothing seems to be working, you do start to think, well, how can this work? How can these people actually help? What is it that they do, or what have they got that makes them different from, everything else that's out there? So thank you for finding us and for joining us as well. What we also would like to know is, what was life like before you found Young Vibes? Why did you need that help?
I could say ask Hannah, because she saw me on one of the Zoom calls in a complete and utter mess, crying my eyes out. It wasn't a pretty sight. So um for our child, we noticed things from when she was a very young age, I didn't pick up on it at the time. Well, we saw things, but you just think it's part of them growing up. And then in primary school, about year 2, one of the teachers said to me, if Annie's having a good day, we all have a good day. If Annie's having a bad day, we all have a bad day. And I thought, interesting. And then towards the end of primary school, the school said, Annie doesn't fit, I hate the word, but the norm.
Yeah.
We're thinking we should do a referral, and we did a referral for ADHD. That came back as she didn't have ADHD. They then wanted to do a referral for ASD. However, this happened all through her transition from primary to secondary school, which was quite traumatic with the whole COVID piece as well, because she missed out on her year 6 transition, end of year parties, everything. So it was a big thing. I mean, COVID was a big thing for everybody. And then so they wanted to look at ASD to investigate that as a prognosis, but at the time I said no, because I was so overwhelmed myself by it all. Everything was happening, COVID, just wanted to get her settled into secondary school. So she started in secondary school, years 7 and 8. She'd have the odd day off here and there with stomachache, headaches, which had followed through from primary. But probably year 9, it started to get worse. Luckily, she had a really good head of year, a good mentor. However, towards the back end of year 9, it got very bad. And then year 10, even worse. And then, so back end of year 10 would have been June this year. We got a call from the school saying, you need to come and collect Annie and take her to A&E. And I was a bit like, why? And they said, she's telling us basically she wanted to kill herself, which as a mother is like, well, and a father, we both were like, Unk. However, at that point, she'd done youth works assessments and had 6 counselling sessions with them. Well, I say 6, she got to 3 and she was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't want to talk about this anymore. She'd had private counselling, 2 sessions. And again, after 2 sessions, she was like, I don't want to do this, Mom. I'm sick of talking about it. I just want to be normal. Why can't I be normal? I want to be like everyone else. I don't want to feel this way. Why do I feel this way? To the point where by this time we had a GP referral in, we had a school referral in, and then we had the A&E referral once we'd taken her to A&E. And to be fair, A&E, bless the doctors, they're not equipped to deal with it. They're absolutely useless. And I could just see the pain in Annie's face. And again, she said, get me out of here. I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk about it. It was, as a parent, it's the most horrific thing ever, because you just want to wrap them up in cotton wool and sort it all out for them. And when that happened in June, I literally cancelled everything in my diary for a week to be with her, which I now realise was the worst thing I could ever do from what I've learned on the programme. But at that time, I wanted to keep my eyes on her,
Yeah.
because God forbid she did anything, I'd have never forgiven myself. And my husband kept saying to me, it wouldn't be your fault, Debbie, you can't control what she does. But I said, no, but I can supervise what she does at this moment in time. So then summer holidays, I thought, right, you know, we'll get through the summer, she'll have a break, and we'll try again. New year, it's a GCSE year, it's really important. And just in terms of a bit of background about me, I am an academic, and I've got two older children that have gone through school. So for me, it was about just getting Annie through this GCSE year, getting her GCSEs. And then I'd been in the Young Vibes group, and I finally took the plunge on the 3rd of August, because it became apparent to me it wasn't just a school environment. It was now happening at home, and she was very withdrawn. She'd withdrawn from social stuff. She didn't want to do anything. And again, it was heartbreaking. So as I say, I said earlier, I took the plunge on the 3rd of August, and we entered into the programme. Unfortunately, I didn't find the programme section. So I'd been doing the videos on the main body, and then we went away for 10 days for our summer holidays, which we had a really good holiday. You could already see the green shoots of me changing what I was doing from the videos I had watched that Sam has on the main body website. But towards the end of the holiday, Annie had a wobble, and I was like, thank goodness we're doing this program, and came back and said, can we move on to the next section? And it became very apparent that I hadn't been in the actual program body itself. So sort of, we probably really started the programs on the 3rd of September once we were back from holiday.
Yeah.
So.
Has life changed since you joined the program?
Yes, literally going back to when I first started the videos, my husband said the change was immediate in me, but I think some of that was realizing that there's other people out there, because I've been on the Zooms a lot. I hadn't been on the right program, but I've been on the Zooms and listening to other parents in the Zooms. It's like, oh my God, there's a whole heap of, it saddens me to say it, but there's a whole load of people out there with the same problems. And every parent that spoke, I was like, oh, I'd forgotten Annie did that. Oh, I'd forgotten Annie. And it was like labels on clothes. I was cutting them out for her, and I'd forgotten I'd done that, but it was because it was probably 2 years previous, but she'd moved on to different like obsessive traits and things. So sorry, where was I going? Lost my trail of thought.
How you found how life is now?
Yeah, so straight away my husband saw an immediate change in me, and then a few weeks, was it probably a few weeks into September, when we were doing the program videos, I saw a change in my husband as well, and he started talking to me about things in his childhood, which I never thought he'd ever do, because he's very much, that's happened, we'll move forward. But it's a great strength he has. But at the same time, for people like me that procrastinate on the past and need to talk about things, he can be quite dismissive. And it's like he's now realized he can't do that with me. He needs to let me talk. So between us as a couple, we understand. I mean, we've been together 22 years, and this last year, I mean, we are great together. We're a great team. We always have been, but even more so now, we've on another level again. In terms of our understanding of each other. So taking our child aside, our relationship is amazing, and we've always been pretty good. But it's all about when you change that vibe at home. So we were already going out and doing things, but all the time I felt guilty about it. And Young Vibes enabled me to be like, no, I need to have my life. I mean, my children are 21, 19 and 15. So, and we're on the program for the 15-year-old. But it's made a difference in the way I behave with the other children as well, who should be independent. They're adults, but actually, because I'm their mom and want to wrap them in cotton wool, and basically was killing them with kindness, doing everything for them. And actually, they need to stand on their own 2 feet and do things themselves.
You're right. And it is important we are nurturing. That's what mums generally are. And we just think that by helping, by making their life more comfortable, by doing lots of things for them, that we're being the best mum possible. Whereas, as you said, we're killing them with kindness. We're not allowing them to be able to develop and grow and to try new things and make mistakes and to grow themselves. Because if we keep doing everything for them, it doesn't make them independent or resilient at all. So Yes, it's a hard one as a mum because you want to try and make life comfortable and, to just to love them, but also at the same
I've killed
time,
them with loving them too much.
yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. But I'm
Yeah,
so
don't.
glad to hear that it's brought you and your husband a new level as well, that you can actually communicate better too, and that it's helped the whole family because the programme is designed around helping everyone. Because as soon as you find that person within the family that's got anxiety, it affects everyone. It's not just the child.
Well, I think everyone has anxiety to a certain level. It's just whether they know how to control it. And some people do it subconsciously, and some people can't do it at all. And then you end up down an avenue of, well, I suppose it's misdiagnosis, isn't it? In terms of, because anxiety turns into, as I've learned from the program, obsessive compulsive disorders, emetophobia,
Mm.
all kinds of things. People switch off, become mute, and it's crazy to see all these things because people are actually experiencing anxiety. And yeah, it's opened my eyes, and it's like, wow, because all these years I've suffered with anxiety. And actually, if I'd have had this program 20 years ago myself, it would have been a different story for myself. But
Yeah.
now the way I'm behaving, and I can sort of coach my children in terms of what way they do things. So it's been really impactful on my 19-year-old as well. She has epilepsy, and she
Right.
suffers really badly with anxiety. So I've changed my way I deal with her, which allows her to be, because I mean, we've always wrapped her up in cotton wool because we're frightened to death at any moment she's going to have a seizure. And even my 21-year-old son, he's like, why is mum not doing this for me anymore? And my husband's like, you're 21, you need to do it yourself. And because I've now realized, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Live your own life. Stop running around after them all and killing yourself looking after them all. And not just them, my mother, my husband, all of them. I'm just that
Everyone.
naturally giving, caring person. And actually, by doing that, all I'm doing is detrimental to myself and to them.
And to
So,
them.
yeah,
Yeah. And it doesn't mean you don't love them.
no,
It's just you don't need to do that all for them. They are very capable, independent people who can do all of these things, who can cook, clean, wash, take care of, things like that. It's just allowing them to step up and do it as well. So, and that will allow you more freedom and time to be able to concentrate on you and
we've
your
already been
requirements.
going away more. My son, and it's been good because he has to stand on his own 2 feet. And my older daughter has to stand on my own 2 feet. And then our youngest child, it's like, you come or you don't come. And there's been times where she's like, I'm not sure I want to come. Well, don't come. And, with the one time she chased me out of the house. I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. Because I was like, I was gone. Whereas historically, I'd have said, oh, we can't go. And he's
Yeah.
not feeling very well. We need to stay. But now it's like, no, you're old enough. You can stay here or you come. And away we go. And it's
Yep.
interesting how the dynamics change when you change the way you behave.
Exactly. And it's wonderful to hear you say that because it's so key. And it's why we start with the parents. We say it time and time again. We know you come for the child, but it's the parents, it's your perspective, you changing things first and foremost that we need to
Yeah.
get going with. Because as soon as you change, everything starts to change for the children or the young people.
We've just moved into, I suppose you call it the third section, nectar. And only a few videos in, and already my husband again is like, do you know what? I've still got some work to do. I've realized, I need to do this, this, and this. And it's not about what I say, it's the tone and my demeanor. And he's really, and I'm just like, again, it's just blown me away that, wow, you're still taking learnings from it. Because when you watch the videos, it's like when you watch a film and you watch a film a second time, you see different things. So it's very important to watch those videos over and over again, which we both have done. But I think different mood, different time of day, you watch something, you pick up something different. So, but with the nectar, he's like, I've realized, and I'm like, yeah.
So your husband on board to join the programme with you at the start?
My perception was he was skeptical, but he said to me, I'm not skeptical. If it's going to help, I want to do it because we need, everything else we've tried hasn't helped. And when you look at, CAMS, counselling, private counselling, youth works counselling, referrals, GPs, everything we've done, it's like it's it's like a dead end. There's nobody knows how to help. And one of my biggest frustrations now is this program is absolutely amazing. And I said in one of my posts, it's the UK's best secret, but actually I know you're worldwide, and I'm like, schools should be embracing your company, Young Vibes, in terms of, I mean, the head of year for Annie said something like there's about 50 pupils in her year alone. This is year 11 GCSE year that are attending school, that are experiencing similar things to my child. And I'm like, well, you know, I've told you about this. And she's even said, my God, we can see the difference in Annie, but we see the difference in you and your husband as well, in terms of the way we communicate, and what we do now with the school is completely different. So when Annie was going back to school, I didn't say, please, can we have this? I said, right, this is what we want to do. Are you in agreement? And I laid it all out, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. And I was just like, great. And away we went. And that's how I've managed it now. And again, I would go into school. I mean, the meeting I had with the attendance officer, somebody from the SEN team, and the head of year, so 3 of them and me. And I sat there, and to be fair, I didn't cry. I held it together, but my emotions were very heightened, and it's quite daunting having 3 of them talking to you. And I was obviously thinking, I'm going to get fined, she's out of school, blah, blah, blah. But to be fair to the school, they were supportive and said, look, you know, you're not one of these parents. We know you're not keeping her off for no reason, you know, but just keep us informed. So, and that's what I've done. And I suppose sounds a horrible thing to say, but I've played the game with the school to protect us from getting fined and that. But actually, she's now back in school. So the proof's in the pudding
as well.
The proof's in the pudding. It's like, so, and I've just done the parent survey for school, and in the free text I put, the school need to look at this program and engage with these people, because I think it's an amazing thing for kids that have got anxiety and school refusal. So, but you can take a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Exactly, that's right. And I couldn't have put it better myself, because we do get people that come to the programme as well. It's everything's here for you, but you do need to put in the work. You've got to go for it. You've got all the support from every member of the team. You've got all the knowledge, but you need to be able to put in the work and communicate with us how things are going.
Well, that's the beauty as well, because initially you're with Hannah, and Hannah is a teacher herself, so she understands the school system. And you know, when I sent the letter that you guys recommend saying, and I think with Hannah's guidance, it gave me that strength as well to rise up. And also my husband was very fundamental in, you know, because I was very much, I can't take her out of school, she's got a GCSE year. And literally when we went back at the start of term, she went in the Wednesday, went in the Thursday, the Friday afternoon she was hiding in the toilets. It was truant in PE, they gave her a detention. Monday she was truant for hospitality, they gave her a detention. And then Tuesday I was like, that's it, not going to school. And by that point I got to a point in the programme where I was like, no, I'm not having this, I've got to do what they say, you're not going to school. And I took the control out.
She's not at school anyway, really, is she? So
no, not she's sitting in the toilet. And that's the exact conversation I'd had with her in the summer. You're not going in the toilets. But she didn't, you could say she defied me, but she didn't defy me. That was her safe space. That was away from the noise of the school. I can't do it. And she was just so heightened continually that, you know, that was, I mean, she was eating a lunch in there, and I'm like, Annie, you don't eat your lunch in the toilet. So, but you know, that's where
it was her cry for help, wasn't it?
Yeah. And all she said to me, and breaks your heart, I just want to feel normal. And to the point, we had the private diagnosis back in June for autism spectrum disorder, and then they'd recommended doing another ADHD referral. And at that point we actually asked for a general psychiatrist referral, because we were going to put her on tablets, because I didn't see any other option. And God forbid I hadn't found Young Vibes, she'd be medicated now.
Yeah.
And I actually, now I know would have been a really wrong thing to do. And
There's
yeah,
always a big debate about medication, etc. But when you've got anxiety, you need to be able to overcome that. Otherwise, it's still going to be there even when you take the tablets away. So it's been able to manage that and overcome
and
that.
I now know that from my own experience. You know,
Yeah.
I'm quite open. I took antidepressants for 14 years post the birth of my first child, so from 2002 to 2016, and it just did this to me. And I didn't feel the highs, I didn't feel the lows, and I only came off them in 2016 because I came out of a corporate world of work, and I'd come into the business with my husband, which allowed me to manage my own time, do my own thing, and I was a happier person anyway. And I came off the tablets, and yes, I had highs, I had lows, but I felt more. It was like I feel normal again. I feel like Debbie again, and it's
Yeah.
crazy because in those 15 years, don't get me wrong, it allowed me to be on that conveyor belt of I went to work, and bringing up 3 children, and both full-time jobs, passing like ships in the night. I look back and think, how did we do all that? But we did it, and people still do it now. But it's a crazy world. But yeah, I now know that I probably should never have been on those antidepressants, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. But it enables me to help my family and friends now going forward in terms of
That's right, because once you've got the tools, you take them with you. So you've given your children the tools to be able to overcome any anxiety inducing moments that they're going to have, because life is full of that. There is highs, there's lows, it is like a roller coaster. But being able to manage what's coming will help you to be able to overcome rather than just fall down or need the medication as a crutch, whatever it might be. So they've
recognizing
got
when
the
you're
tools.
going, when you're starting to get heightened, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
and hang on a minute, I need to stop this or distract myself or do something different. And yeah, it's yeah, I can't say enough how much it's blown my mind in terms of, retraining myself. And I still, I am, I don't know, very anxious about a lot of things. And I do so many what ifs around, just like Harry getting in the car this morning and going to work, and it's thick ice, and and it's like, whereas I'd have worried about it all day long, now I do the Debbie, you do this, you burn all this energy off, you get tired, exhausted, what are you doing it for? And
Yep.
I'm still going to do it, but it's knowing, hang on a minute, Deb, stop that. And
It's bringing it back to real time, isn't
yeah,
it? And
yeah,
yeah, not letting your mind go to the places that it shouldn't go. So, and would you recommend our program?
not at all. Of course I would.
I know. So yeah, we do appreciate it. We do want to obviously ask. And then because you would recommend our programme, what is it that you would tell another parent who's struggling like you once were that's considering joining the programme?
I actually, as I said earlier, I'm on the Not Fine in School group, and there's a lady on there yesterday that posted something about she's just been fined £200 for a child not being in school. And I messaged her privately, and I basically gave her quite a short synopsis of what I'd been through. And I said, please join this Facebook page and look at some of the videos on it, because it's been amazing. It's completely transformed the way I behave, which has transformed the whole environment in our house, and it's a much happier house. And yeah, I had another well, it was one of my daughter's friends' mothers messaged me because I shared, it comes up at the end of pollen, it said you've completed pollen, and I shared it on Facebook on my personal Facebook. So one of my daughter's friends' mums said to me, I see blah blah blah, and I said, I can't recommend it enough. And I know for a lot of people the costs inhibit them, but for me, the £75 a week, you pay that for a therapy session. And on Young Vibes, you get 3 Zoom sessions a day, Monday to Friday. You get all the videos, you get the support, you get one-to-ones, all that for 75 quid in a week is incredible value. And bottom line is, and again, I've said this, what price can you put on the health and happiness of your family? I mean, it's changed my whole world. And I know it sounds very cliche, but you look at my Facebook page, it's been amazing. And I've had the best like last couple of months of my life because I'm happier in myself. and which enables me to enjoy my children more, have more fun, do more things, and yeah.
More places. Now that you're getting out and about more too. Well, we're so glad.
It's not
What
just
were
the,
you-
sorry, Anne, it's not just the getting out and about more. It's actually enjoying it, because I could get out and about, but I never switched my brain off to the children and what was going, and all my own anxiety. But now I'm actually going and I'm actually immersing myself in what I'm doing and enjoying the experience rather than just going through the motions.
Yep.
And that is huge. That is immense.
Yeah. Well, we're so glad to hear that you've managed to find all of that by going through the program. We know how difficult it is, and yes, there's usually a lot of tears in the early stages because it is an emotional subject. We love our children, we love our families, we want the best for them, and when things aren't good, we blame ourselves, we try and fix it, we do all that we can. So we understand how difficult it is, and we're just so happy to hear about all the things that you're doing now. And we wish you and your family all the very best for the future, okay?
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you.